Welcome back to another episode of the Wide Awake Podcast with your favorite co-hosts, Jae and Phil. We are here today and we are ready for another episode of just guys being dudes, having conversation and talking about what it means to be a creator in this landscape that we are currently in. Bang.
Love that. That was a great intro. This is episode 2, and you may be shocked, but you can actually hear my voice a little bit more clear. And it's not pretty, if you're looking at this visually.
If you're watching the video version of this podcast, you'll see that Phil has gaff taped his microphone to his mic stand. Yeah. He went out and bought a mic stand today. I told him on the phone that he needed to make sure to buy a clip for that specific microphone, and
he did.
He forgot, and so now he's taped to the mic stand.
Yes, it's tight. It's taped to the mic stand. You got to do what you got to do. And I thought I had that attachment, but yeah, it was nowhere to be found. Anyways, it was of utmost importance to get a new interface in this arm because we are planning to do this weekly. Everybody does episode 1, but not many get to episode 2. I don't know what the percentage is, but if I was to guess, it would be at least 69% or something of that.
At least 69%, no more, no less.
That's what I would think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, man, episode 2, let's talk about overcoming creative blocks.
Overcoming creative blocks. Well, before we dive into the meat of the episode,
right?
Before we can't play all of our cards at the beginning.
That's right. We're cutting.
We gotta be a little more. What's the word? Clever, I think, is the way to do it. Anyways,
why'd you do that? Why'd you take off your glasses like that?
I was emphasizing the moment. So this week, we are still about 2 months out from the first Wide Awake event. And so this week is just as busy as any other week. What have we done? We had a call with our sound guy, DJ A-Rock.
That's right. Hey, give more respect to his name. Not just a sound guy. He does everything.
He does do everything.
He's that guy.
He is that guy. Like, super dope. Has experience. He's been around the block a few times. He's got a new mind. He's lit. That was a bar.
Yeah.
No, but he is a really, really cool guy. Has a lot of experience doing everything, and he is so committed to making this showcase one to remember. I think that people are going to walk away from this event going, wow, not only did everything look great, it sounded amazing. Everything was just so well put together, and I think we're putting a lot of heart into it. So I'm so excited to see where we're going from there.
Yeah.
What else have we done this week?
This week, it's been a lot of meetings with different artists and just finalizing things, getting agreements signed, getting confirmation, and throughout all the work, we're just so grateful to actually progress in so many different ways. And we're just blessed, man. It's been good. It's been a lot of editing, this podcast, doing socials, and connecting with new prospects, as well as tapping in with our previously booked artists. So it's been a flourishing, productive, nourishing, nutritious week, if I say so myself.
Nutritious.
Yeah,
some would say. Yeah. Okay, meal prep. Okay. I need to start doing that myself for real. Right now, our current outlook on the show is awesome. I'm so excited to actually get it all. Get it all presented. So, I still have to get our event poster created. We also have to do the shirts, start working on making sure that design's set up. And we're also talking through some really, really cool incentives for people who come to the show. So stay tuned for updates on that because we definitely have some cool plans in the works right now.
Time is just running out. I feel it now. I feel it. Growing up, hoping I make it up. I just want to make mama proud.
This podcast is sponsored by me, your boy. I'm Phil, but I go by Old Chingu, which means old friend in Korean. And so I used to make a lot of music from that profile. Here's a song that you're listening to right now. You can follow it on Old Chingu on Spotify or all streaming platforms. At the same time, you want to follow the creative journey behind the scenes? give Philly Steak a follow. Appreciate you. See you next time. Haha.
But now I think, now that we've gotten a little bit of we've dipped our toes into the water, now we can get into the creative blocks, because that's really what the people are here for.
Why do you say dip toes in the water like that? I just visualized it very clearly. Okay? And I didn't want that.
Well, I mean, are you the type of person who just jumps straight into the pool without knowing what it feels like?
Yes. Yes, I am.
That says a lot about you.
That it does.
It says a lot about you.
When I was 5 years old, I was on a Disney cruise, and I ran away from my mom, and I jumped into the pool, and she said lots of adults jumped in trying to save me, and I was just giggling the whole way.
Dude, you see, I have an experience kind of like that. Well, it wasn't like that, but this is why I dip my toes in, and this is why you jump in.
Okay.
When I was 6, we went to my grandmother's house in like West Virginia, like mountains, like,
okay.
And it's in the middle of the winter. You know, you got to be like super bundled up. I was playing outside. You know, she owned all this property. There was a ton of space, and I had gone outside. My parents didn't need to come out because there was just so much space. Nobody was going to kidnap me. There was nobody around. Mm-hmm. I went outside, and I was like kicking rocks around because, you know, like when you're 6 years old, rocks are the coolest thing ever. And so I'm out there having a good time, having a blast, and I see this flat pile of rocks. Like it's just like this circle of rocks, right? I walk up to it and I'm like, wow, it's so smooth, but also it's like, you know, when you're on like paved gravel, where you can still see the rocks sticking out of it, but it looks like there's like cement over it, but you can still see the pebbles like kind of poking out.
I think so.
You know what I'm talking about? So I saw that and I was like, can this move? Like if I were to step on these, would they move? And so me being a 6-year-old, what I decided to do was just jump full force onto these rocks. And as soon as my feet made contact, I realized that it wasn't rocks, it was ice, and it was leading into her pond. She had a koi pond. And so I jumped full force into a koi pond in the middle of winter in the West Virginia mountains. And my parents heard me scream the second that I started to fall in, so they got me pretty quickly. But yeah, man. So jumping in like that, this is why I like to plan things and test things before I do them now. And I think that was like a core moment for me that just taught me a lot about, you know, hey, maybe take a step back and think before you act.
I have so many questions, yet I am just enamored by your childhood, your thought process, the action you took to become who you are today. You know, that was vital. Okay. That was vital for you to take that step back. Oh man, when you first said jumping full force, I thought I was expecting like no pond. I was expecting for you to say your legs just shattered or something like that. Your ankles just split, toe, like Mortal Kombat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
So yeah, crazy, but it could have gone worse.
It would have, yeah, exactly. It could have gone worse, but also like hypothermia, like there's a trade-off, but like, at least I didn't break any limbs, and at least I didn't get, you know, like it definitely ended best case scenario.
And your parents heard you. Like, can you imagine if they didn't hear you?
I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, facts.
Exactly. So like we know exactly what happened. I didn't know how to swim. Young black children, at least where I'm from, we didn't know how to swim. So I would have been dead. I would have been dead in the water.
Right.
And I think I really do think that this can perfectly transition into creative blocks.
Talk about it.
Because for me, you know, we talk about, or it transitions into how we get past creative blocks. So I think we'll get into that in a second. But what is a creative block?
It's a block that's creative.
Yes. That was the most like dad answer that you could have possibly given, I think.
But I'm not a father.
But I am. And I viewed that as like a dad joke answer.
I see.
It is a block that is creative. It is in the name, but you know, for our creators out there, you guys already know what it is. As far as you want to create you have a task, you're trying to design something, maybe you have a deadline, maybe it's just something that you really want to get done, and the inspiration isn't coming to you. The process isn't happening.
Let me give you a quick example from my prior experience. I'll keep it short, but basically there was a time for like 2 years that I was just focused on animation and drawing for clients. That was like where I was making a bag. And with that, however, because it was like a source of me getting paid, after the first month, everything's cool. Like, man, I'll do anything, right? But after the first month, everything felt gray. Everything felt mundane. It felt like it felt soul draining, you know? And I think that's when I was like, wow, do I even like doing this? It kind of gave me that doubt. And so in that way for me was a creative block. It was like, man, I just don't feel like being creative. Like, just give me what you want, you know? Whereas the best kind of mixture for me was when they would give me constraints, they would give me like their branding, they would give me what they would like included, and then go crazy, right? Then I can really enjoy that. But with that creative block, it was something where I felt, I just felt bored with, and it ultimately led me to finish it, right? Everything, it wasn't to the best of my ability. What about you, Jay? Something quick.
Well, I do want to say, like, you would think that as a designer, the best thing that you can have is like full creative freedom. Like, that's when you think about it, that's like really what sounds the best. Until they give you full creative freedom, and then you send them something and they don't like it.
Right, they send it back.
It doesn't match what they actually wanted. So I think one of the biggest things to mitigate creative block is to make sure that you have a general guideline and a general constraint, because to me, you get more creative with more constraints.
Yeah, 100.
When you think about it, like, if somebody is saying, I want a cover for my song, and this song is about everything, and so the cover should be about everything, and you make it and you're like, what the heck am I doing here? What is the goal? What is the concept? And so that can be difficult, as opposed to when somebody says, my song is about this, I want it to relate to this, I would like to include this, and I don't want it to be too busy, or I want it to be busy in this way, and this way. So every single one of those guidelines is just perfect. For me, a quick example, all of year, or maybe not all of last year, 2023, I had gotten married. I moved in with my wife and her parents before we got to our current place. And all I wanted to do was create designs. I was unemployed. I didn't have anything but time to work on graphics and creating things and build up my portfolio.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened. Every time I would sit down and try to make something, my mind would just be blank. Like, I could go into Photoshop and find a bunch of really, really cool examples of things that I wanted to do just for the sake of practice, and nothing would happen. I couldn't come up with a goal. I couldn't come up with a project, and it really sucked. It wasn't just in art. It was in music. I couldn't think of songs to write. I couldn't think of beats to make. I was completely shut off creatively. And I really think that was drawn from an abundance of time plus a move and not feeling comfortable and not feeling stable.
Yeah.
But for me, what ended up solving that was I found something that I was really passionate about, which was sports design. And I said, I really like sports. I really love the Ravens. I want to start making graphics around the team, but I want to do things that are fun. Like, I don't want to just like make stats. I don't want to make history graphics about the team. I want to make things that people see and they're like, wow, that's really cool. And it's about my favorite team. So I'm going to share it. So I started making really tiny football players. I started, I was just messing around in a picture. I was like, what can I do with this picture that's already been taken and reinterpret it in a way that I think would be fun for somebody to look at? So I took Lamar Jackson, I isolated him, and I shrunk him down until he was super, super tiny. like 6 inches tall. And then the players around him were their normal size. And I posted that, and it got a lot of love. It introduced me to a new community, and it gave me a new flame for design work. Because design is not just here, put text here, put text here, put text here, put text here.
Yeah.
It's not just infographic. It's not just making a poster. Sometimes it is really just learning to have fun with it, but I still had to add a constraint. It had to be Ravens related, or it had to be related to this, or it had to be related to that. That's what inspired me to keep going. And then I got the internship.
There you go. Yeah. And I feel like it opened up a new door for you in terms of design. Like, you don't need to take everything so seriously.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be just for the fun of it. And I think that's how we started creating in the first place, right? To have fun. And I think that's a big way I overcome these blocks in my life. That is inevitable. So preparing for it, knowing that it's going to happen, and finding ways to get out of that rut by either having fun with it, finding that tapping into that inner core passion, doing something different, and stepping outside of your comfort zone.
Yes.
And being challenged. And challenge, not so like level 100 Dark Souls boss, but challenge where it'll take you some time, but it'll be worthwhile, like getting to it. So and a lot of that comes
telling yourself to stop taking everything so seriously is such a huge one. Like you said, I feel like it's very common for creatives. We get really good at the hobby that we started for fun. And, given the landscape that we live in, it's very, very common to jump from, I love doing this and I do it because I love it, to I got really, really good at this and now I want to make money off of it.
Yeah.
And then it turns from like that passion driving what you do to the money driving what you do and trying to make a career out of it. And that's not saying like you shouldn't try. Like, I actively want to do design for the rest of my life. Like, I want to do, like, I want to be a creative for the rest of my life. And so I'm not saying not to, chase that dream. You absolutely should. But if you do every single project with the goal of making money off of it, then you're not going to be fulfilled, and everything is going to create an unnecessary amount of pressure on you.
Yeah.
And that pressure also leads to that type of creative block and burnout. And you don't want to create anymore because all you're doing is trying to meet a quota or trying to meet a goal. So make sure that when you're doing it, obviously there are going to be projects that you're doing where, the goal is to get paid. Like, that's what happens when you take a commission. That's what happens when you take you take on certain projects. However, make sure that you're allotting time for yourself to just do things to learn something or to have fun. Yeah. Because when I started doing these sports graphics, one of the biggest things that I learned was how to take a picture of a player that's already been kind of edited, but how do you amp it up? How do you add highlights to the player's skin to make them look the way that they do for these team graphics, these official graphics? How do you retouch these photos? Mm-hmm. So if you're not doing it if you don't want to do something for fun and you want to learn, find something inside of the realm of what you like doing that you haven't learned how to do and just do it.
Yeah, get in there. YouTube videos, tutorials, finding a mentor, finding someone that's really good at it and asking them questions. The worst thing they can say is, sorry, no. Get excited about hearing no and going after it. Whatever you want to do, exactly like everything Jay was saying. I love that he really breaks down. I'm talking about you like you're not here. It's like you're dead. Yeah, Jay used to. No.
We're working on it.
No, I love it. Just that aspect of finding what you're passionate about, getting into it, and getting excited about it. I think that's what really pulls us out. Everything. Yeah. But what do you got for us, Jay? It seems like you're gearing up with your cowboy hat. Everything.
What you mean? My future endeavors?
Oh.
Howdy, partner. Hold on, let me complete the look here real quick. All right, you're talking to Sheriff Houston now. All right.
We got a segment from Sheriff Houston.
Sheriff Houston. All right. Now, every week on the Wide Awake podcast, we didn't do it last week, but we're going to start doing it now, right? So every week I want to highlight something that's just creatively getting me going. And it can be an album cover, it can be a local artist, it can be a music video, it can be anything. But for this week, I want to highlight one of my favorite people on this planet, one of my mentors, one of my shining stars, one of my role models for music video of the week, right? This particular music video is a song that I'm featured in, and it is just immaculate. A work of art, music video of the year of 2024, actually. And that music video is called Catharsis by Kevin Hackett. You're going to need to just put it right there above my finger.
I'm not, but we don't have the budget for that.
We have the budget for it. All right. You're editing this. Okay.
Let me send you the invoice.
All right. Catharsis by Kevin Hackett. Incredible music video. One of the best videos I've ever seen. Includes, all right, I'm going to drop the voice. It's just hard to maintain. But anyways, every week I want to highlight something creatively that has sparked a flame in me. Yeah. And what better way to start than my former supervisor, my mentor, my role model, and most importantly, my friend, Kevin Hackett, one of the best designers that I've ever known. I truly think that he's going to go down in history as one of the best, if not the best designer. Right now, he's in the Christian hip-hop landscape working for Reach Records. But, you know, who knows what's going to happen in the next few years. But he's an incredible designer, and what sets him apart is he's not just a designer, he is a visionary. Like, he is the type of person that gets the vision, executes on that vision. And I think a lot of designers are really good when they are told what to make. But he is the person who comes up with what to make and executes on that concept. And wow. I think he's always just been able to complete that full circle.
Holy moly. Hey, man, you speaking about him like we about to get him on the interview right now.
Yeah,
say that next time. Damn.
Hey, we're not going back. Dude, we're not doing, I don't know if he'd want to do an interview for this. Maybe. I would love to get him on the episode, get him on the podcast.
Well, hey, let's make it happen.
That would be awesome. But we're going to link to this in the episode description.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that. Catharsis, he is an incredible musician, incredible designer, and always puts out quality work. Very, very attuned to the details. So,
yeah. And to the listeners, creatives, feel free to send us at Instagram, Wide Awake Global, to show us your new music, your new videos, your new art. We'd love to talk about it and perhaps sponsor it on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's all for today, right, Phil?
Yeah. We'll wrap it up. This is a short and sweet, value-filled, entertainment-filled, art-focused, Wide Awake podcast. And each time we're just going to progress, just get better. But, you know, we're just doing it. I'm not worried about episode 2, 3, 4. I'm worried about 10, episode 20, episode 30, that consistency. So we're excited to be here. Once again, we appreciate y'all. This is Phil speaking, and we had Jay. We are pushing the mission for Wide Awake. So definitely stick with us, stay tuned, and we love y'all.
Love you guys. Peace. Talk to you on Wednesday.
Yes, sir.